Monsters do have their place. In the zoo, in your nightmares, in the deep.
Hey, so this is what I read in October. It's now November 9th, so I really need to get to this, or it's never going to happen that I make this video. So I am not prepared for this video whatsoever. I'm just going to talk. We'll see what happens. The first book I read was Down a Dark Hall, which I had been mentioning I was reading in the last video. I don't know what I did with the book, so I don't have it, but I'm sure I can show you a cover or something. So I had been saying I thought I read that book. It seemed really familiar, but I didn't think I had. Well, it turns out when I went to put it into Goodreads, it said I had read it, but there was no date, so I don't know. It could have been read at any time. So I have a written journal that I was keeping since 1992 of every book I read. So I basically do know every book I've read since the year 1992. So I could get that journal out and look and see if it's in there. But if it was after I started using the internet Shelfari website to keep track, it's not going to be in there. And the thing is, when Goodreads started and Shelfari closed down, you could transfer all your Shelfari books over to Goodreads, but it didn't take any of the dates, and it deleted like hundreds of my books. So I am kind of short on records on some things there. But yeah, I don't know. I could have read it when I was a teenager. I could have read it in my early 20s. The story seems familiar to me, but I don't know when I read it. I can't place it. And it's a good book. It's a good book, don't get me wrong. It's just not that memorable, I guess. But I do recommend it if you're looking for some, like, a gothic type of a spooky story. There are ghosts in it. It is kind of unique and different. So when I finished it, I did watch the movie version of it. And I had known Uma Thurman was in it, and I saw the trailer. I didn't recognize her. She didn't look like herself in the trailer. She's in it. But I didn't like the movie. I didn't like it at all. They changed way too much. They put it in a modern day setting. It's supposed to take place in the 70s. It's, you know, now current day. They added characters in that they didn't need to add in. There's a lot of needless stuff in it and stuff they took out, and I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. So I don't recommend the movie at all. I'd read the book, not watch the movie. After I finished that, I read the Amityville Horror, and this book was so good. I really wasn't expecting to like it. So this was written in the 70s. I don't know. I kind of think maybe they proved it was a hoax. But at the time this book was written, it's being presented as it actually happened. I don't know if it actually has been proved a hoax or not. I did see the movie, but that was years ago, and I've seen documentaries, but I can't remember. But you could just read this like it was fiction, and it's still going to be a really spooky good book. There's this pig. Oh my gosh. The pig is scary. Like, I don't get scared that easy from books, but that pig. You know, in American Horror Story, they had that guy with a pig head. That was creepy. It's like, pigs are spooky. I don't know why. You know, I mean, you could have, like, a zombie that's whatever, or a vampire, or whatever. But a pig, I don't know. There's something about pigs. Ooh. So, yeah, definitely Amnityville Horror if you're looking for something spooky. The next book, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. So I had tried to read this when I was a kid. I didn't get anywhere with it. But as an adult, I really loved this book. But I have to say, this is not a Halloween book. It's not even really an October book. You could, any time of the year, really. And it's, there's nothing scary in it. There's no actual witches in it. There's a girl. She's accused of being a witch, but it's not really until the end of the book that happens. It's a cozy book, though. It's super cozy. If you're looking for, like, something cozy to read, this is a good choice. Really, you know, there's lots of, like, kitchen fires and kittens and cozy stuff in this book. It's good. It's good. So then I read Trick or Treat, which was another book I wanted to read since I was a kid. This one is very forgettable. It's basically just like a teen horror movie, but a novel. I don't know. It'll probably be like a year from now and I won't even remember what any of it was about. That's how bad it is. And it was just cheesy. The end is super cheesy. It doesn't make sense. And yeah, I don't recommend that one. Sorry. But the book of the month, the one that was the best. So I want to say though, I had a big stack. I didn't get through them all because I was working so hard on my folklore videos. It took all my free time pretty much for those folklore videos. There's a lot of writing for that I had to do, preparing for the videos, going to locations, researching. It really took more effort than I thought it was going to. So I didn't get much reading done. So I do have a few books I didn't get to. But I am so glad I got to this book. This was the absolute best. I love this book. I can't recommend it enough. It's called The Elementals by Michael McDowell. I love him. Oh my gosh. Every time I read a book by him, I just say I love him. I love him. So good. Ugh. And it seems like every book I read by him, and I'm not reading them in any kind of order, they just seem to get better and better and better. So this is about these 3 summer houses in Alabama. And they're kind of out on this sandbar peninsula that gets cut off from the rest of land when the tide comes up. So it kind of like is like an island a lot of the time. And there's the 3rd house out there is slowly being covered by a sand dune, and sand is getting inside. And it has been like that for decades. So there's this girl named India in the story, and she's 13 years old, and it's her first time going with her family. The family owns the other 2 houses. It's really like 2 families. She looks in the window of one of the rooms, and it's like the early 1900s. Nothing has changed. And the whole family is scared of this 3rd house, and mysterious things happen. And everyone thinks it's haunted. It's so great. I really love the character of India, too. Like, I have a new fictional character I love. She's such a great character. And the best sentence I have read in the whole year is in this book. I took a picture. I loved the sentence. Well, it's a paragraph, but it's like a 2-sentence paragraph. So I'm going to tell you it. The sun shone directly through the window, illuminating a portion of the room brilliantly, and leaving the rest obscure. India's own black shadow of curiosity stretched across the floor like a startled residue of the room's last inhabitant. India's own black shadow of curiosity stretched across the floor like a startled residue of the room's last inhabitant. Is that not a sentence? Oh my god. That is I can't even... Wow. Wow. What a sentence. This whole book... That is amazing. Like, I am imagining him writing that sentence. That's one of the greatest sentences I have ever read. And this book is just filled with, like, so many haunting images. It is so great. I can't say it enough. So read it for Halloween some year, or just read it if you're looking for a good spooky book. It's spooky. It's a little spooky. I read this in one day. It was so good. I couldn't put it down. I was just reading it everywhere. Oh, stayed up all night. I had to finish it. It was so good. I love that book. I can't wait to read something else by him. Okay, so that's what I got through in October. This month I'm working on a lot of history books and reading some more New England, Massachusetts folklore books because I'm working on all that right now. I don't know what the next video will be. We'll have to see. Well, it's definitely probably going to be one of the history books. But I didn't really plan out this month, so I don't know. It's not like October. That's my month. That's my book month. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Yikes.